My name is Lena Garcia. Today I did this like blue turquoise reddish color using the Jaclyn Hill rainbow palette by Violet Voss and some Morphe brushes, which are amazing. I used the Anastasia dip brow for my eyebrows as usual, and I used Born This Way foundation, which I had stopped using for a while because I felt like it wasn't as full coverage as I like, but I like it. For some reason it worked for me today. Usually it starts to like break up, but that's besides the point. So thank you for clicking. If you want to see how I got this look, just keep watching. So to start, I'm using my Born This Way foundation by Too Faced in the color Golden Beige, and I'm using a damp beauty sponge to apply it all over the face. Next up, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade Ebony, and I'm using a Pro Angled eyeliner in the number 22 from Sephora. And when I do my brows, I usually like to start at the bottom and then I work my way up top just to get like the shape of it, just to get that arch that I like. And I try not to go in too heavy because I don't want my eyebrows to look too waxy or too boxy. Also, anyone that has ever attempted to do their eyebrows, I think can vouch that it's always a toss-up if they feel like cooperating with you for that day. So what I try to do is like make sure that they're even, at least at the bottom, and then I just go from there and make it as thick as I need to, just to make sure that they match the other eyebrow. This is gonna sound crazy, but I feel when I finish my eyebrows, if I like them, I'm like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me the strength to pull this off, because I didn't know if I could today. I have this really bad habit that when something comes out really good, I mess with it so much that I just like totally screw it up. And lately I feel like with my eyebrows, I've been just like messing with them so much that they haven't been coming out how I like them. And then today I'm satisfied, so I'm gonna leave them alone so that I don't mess with them so much that I start to mess it up and then they come out too thick or they look too blocky, which I hate. So next up, I'm using my Jouer foundation as a concealer in the shade Fawn with the pointed side to that beauty sponge. And I'm using that as a concealer because I paid like 38 bucks for this foundation, but it was too light, so I have to find a way to use this. So it's gonna be concealer for me. On top of the Jouer, I'm gonna go in with the concealer Bright Future from Sephora in the shade Palmier, and I'm just gonna work that all over and put it on my lid to use as a base for my eyeshadow. I didn't show this in the video, but I'm using the Sacha Buttercup setting powder. Next up, I'm using my Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I'm using a Morphe E23 brush, and I'm going in with Silk Cream just to set the concealer and so that I have a smooth base to apply the other shadows on top of. Next up, from that same palette, I'm going in with Pukey, and I'm using an Ipsy L34 blend brush, and this is actually going to be my transition color. With transition colors, I really do try and go ham, and even then I feel like that's an understatement just because I want it to be blended and very gradient for the next color. For my next color, I'm gonna go into Hunt, and I'm using Morphe E17 to apply as another transition color. I know I am using a lot just to start the base, but I honestly, like, I really want it to be smooth. Next up, I'm using the Ipsy L34 blend brush again, just to blend out that color and to make it so that it just meshes with the other color that's underneath. I'm going back in with the E17 and I'm dipping into Jax to use on the lid as yet another transition color, honey. And guess what I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna blend for sure, like 1000% sure. I'm gonna blend as much as possible. So I am using Twerk and then I'm using a blending brush just to apply that blue. I was a little disappointed because it's not as pigmented as I had hoped. And this brush, once upon a time, I used to only get my brushes on Amazon. So this brush doesn't have a name because it's that cheap. However, it did the trick a little bit. I don't know if it was a combination of the brush or if the color on that Jaclyn Hill wasn't enough. Using a flat dense brush, I'm going into my Violet Voss rainbow palette and I'm dipping into Royal. This brush does not have a name. It just says BS Mall, and I can take a wild guess what that BS stands for, but it's just a flat brush and it's kind of doing the trick, so Yet again, L34 Ipsy brush, and I am blending because it needs to be as smooth as possible. This brush I got from Ipsy and it's called So Susan. So I'm going into my rainbow palette and I'm dipping into Fiji and spraying a little bit of that MAC Fix Plus and just creating a halo look and putting it at the center of my eye because this Fiji color is just so pretty and bright, and that's kind of what I was going for when I was doing this. Like I wanted something that was gonna pop. I may or may not have dipped into my sister's makeup bag and used the Wet n Wild Dark Blue liner, and I'm using that on the bottom lid. I'm also going to blend that out with a Morphe R42 brush, again to erase harsh lines and to make it look more gradient and smooth. And I feel like that's what sisters are for. And she wasn't even there, but she worked out for her sister, so shout out to her for that one. Again, with a brush that has no name, it's just flat and dense. And I went into Pukey and I'm adding that to the bottom lid as well. Another flat brush, I'm dipping into Pearl from the Violet Voss and I'm putting that on the brow bone and the inner corners of my eyes just to give it that extra pop of color and brightness. For lashes, I'm using Huda Beauty Farrah, and I'm only doing one on here just to save time because putting the other one took forever. So, I am going to be applying mascara, and it's a Tarte Tarte's mascara, which is so nice because it really does pick up all your little hairs on your bottom lid. And then I'm taking a Morphe R3 brush just to wipe off that excess setting powder. To bronze, I'm using a Morphe E34, and I'm using the new Bronzer from Morphe, and I'm using the color Frenemy. I haven't really been into contouring too much lately because I feel like I already have small features, so I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. Like I want it to be more natural, so I'm just kind of bronzing and just creating like that slight shadow. To smooth everything out, I'm using a Morphe R3 brush just to eliminate harsh lines again. And then this brush has no name. It came from Amazon again. So I'm just going to use that to contour my nose and just to make it look just a little bit more pinch. Now on to my favorite thing in the whole world. I'm dipping into the Anastasia Glow Kit Golden Dawn, and I'm using a Morphe E61 brush, and I'm going to spray some matte Fix Plus on that to give it that extra pop of pigment and make it look like you have a sun on your face, because that's what I want people to see, just like a big ass sun. I want my highlight to be so bright that when you look at me, you feel like you need some suns. That's the look I'm going for. That's what I just adore. Like, I don't know what it is about highlight that just makes me just beyond happy. I need it to be so bright that you have to kind of squint when you look at me, because the brightness just hurts your eyes that much. I don't know what this little thingamajigger is called, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to put it on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of my nose, just to make it seem like my nose again is more pinched and just a little more cute. And on my Cupid's bow. This is a Wet n Wild lip liner in the shade Willow. I try not to overdraw my lips because I just feel like it kind of looks a little bit too extra on me. So I try to keep it simple. My lips are very small, but again, I want to look natural. I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. For my lipstick, I'm using the ColourPop Ultra Satin in the shade Strip. I'm a nude kind of girl, so I die for a nude lip. And then for the center of my lip, I'm going to be going back to the Violet Voss, and I'm dipping into Peach, and I'm just going to put that at the center of my lips. One thing I forgot to do is to set my face. So I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. I'm like almost out, so I have to get another one, but. So this is it. This is the final look. I hope you guys really enjoyed my tutorial. I'm doing a voiceover because I'm still trying to get comfortable with talking to a camera. I used Violet Voss Rainbow Palette. I used the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe, which I love. I've been wanting to play with that blue that she has for the longest time, and then it was just like heaven sent that the Rainbow Palette also has a blue, which I love. So this is it. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you really enjoy it and find it useful.